Hey Hofstra fans, welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com. My name is Kevin Dexter, joined alongside, as always, by the head coach of the Hofstra Pride Field Hockey Team, Kathy Angelis. Coach, thanks so much for the time. How are you today?
I'm good. Great to be here.
And Coach, you dropped your first two games of the season up at the Husky Invitational in Storrs, Connecticut at the University of Connecticut this past weekend. First game against UConn, a 7-1 loss. Just talk a little bit about that. They were the number 4 team in the nation, though, so could be a lot of positives to take out of that.
Oh, absolutely. First half was great. It was 1-0 at halftime. Our game plan was pressing and outletting. We did a fantastic job, probably the best that I've seen Hofstra play that early in the season in a long time. Second half we came back real strong, real early, and we tied it up 1-1. And we continued that for about 50 minutes out of the 70-minute game. Really, it was fantastic hockey. And it just, unfortunately, they were able to develop several defensive corners against us, and they executed, and they scored 4 on corners and also a penalty flick. 4 of those goals came within 6 minutes of each other. So it was disappointing to let down in just 6 minutes, and then 2 more were scored another 4 minutes later. So within a total of 10 minutes, they had already registered another 4 or 5 goals, and that was disappointing right there. But if you take out the entire part of the game, it was great hockey for 50 minutes, and we were playing. It could have gone either way. So I was happy with how it ended. Wasn't happy with the score being such a large margin, but that's something we've got to work on.
And Chrissy Lane scores the only goal for you guys in that one. Just into the second half, it was 1-1, but then you weren't able to tally another goal after that. Did you see any kind of sort of problems with the offense or things you could work on in the coming weeks?
Well, when you're playing a team like Connecticut, you have limited options, and getting into attacking 25 is not an easy thing, and you have to bring your best game in order to execute. We had opportunities. We weren't strong enough inside the attacking 25, and that's something collectively we're going to continue to work on, and know if we can score against Connecticut, we can score against anybody, so we'll take that one goal and we'll move on from that.
Next day, you guys took on Stanford. The game was pushed up a little bit because, of course, impending Hurricane Irene. Did that affect the team at all, that you had to keep playing earlier and really a short turnaround between the 2 games?
Well, I don't think so at all. It really, we were trying to put the Hurricane as much as we could behind us and say, hey, we've got to focus on this game against Stanford and be ready. It was a back-to-back game, and it left us with an extra hour of not recovering, but we came out just as strong as we did against Connecticut, and learning from the game the day before, we took a lot of positives into that, and it was a fantastic game, and it's overtime. It can go either way. I was happy how we performed against Stanford, and like I said, it could have went either way. I definitely think fitness might have been a factor, and when you get tired, your skills break down, and mentally and physically. And we had to play back to back, where California, they're coming from California, but they didn't have to play until now they played yesterday, so they didn't have to worry about the back-to-back game. So.
And your team, you go into halftime and scores 3-2, and then after halftime you get outshot 12-1. Your only shot of the second half was the goal by Jenna Kovar. Did you feel that the team was kind of being outplayed in the second half at all because of that different shot margin, or the stats deceiving in that sense?
Well, no, I definitely think there was some letdown collectively as a team, where it left a lot of breaks for Stanford to capitalize on it, and they really did, and they were very strong attacking-wise, and their possession skills were outstanding. So for us, we had to continue to step up our game, and we really did, and we kept coming back, and they weren't able really to score, and that discredits our defense. I really felt in our back 3, they did a fantastic job, and being outshot 12-1, I think it was. I have to credit all of them in the backfield, and also our goalkeeping as well. So we hung in there.
And it seemed, of course, off the stat sheet, as you just mentioned, getting outshot 12-1 in the second half. Amanda Heidi really seemed to be keeping you guys in the game a lot, making a lot of tough saves. How did you feel that she performed throughout the entire weekend?
Oh, I thought she did fantastic, and her clears were outstanding. I mean, we need to work on our defensive corners, and that's something where we have to do that the next several weeks, and that was definitely a weakness of our defensive corner unit. But we know that, and we've got to learn to move on from that. But overall, I thought she did a fantastic job, and she's coming off almost 8 months of back surgery, so we didn't even expect her playing this early. So I have to credit her coming back, and really her tenacity to push her way back in. So it's great.
Another player that coming off an injury that we spoke about last week, Amy Levy. She does score in the game against Stanford, really the anchor of your defense, and kind of a team that when you were getting outshot like that helped you keep you in the game. How did you feel that she was coming off that injury for her first 2 games back in over a year?
Oh, absolutely fantastic, and she adds so much charisma to our team, especially on the attack, and she's just in there for any ball, and it's contagious, and I think the more games we play, it's just going to help elevate our performance. But coming back after sitting a full year, it's really great to see. We're excited. I think she's only going to continue to get herself back into hockey shape, and she never gives up. So it's really, like I said, I think it's contagious, and it's really going to propel our team.
And with it being the first 2 games of the year, of course, a lot of freshmen, some newcomers getting their first action on your team. How did you feel that they all performed in their first 2 games of college action?
Yeah, actually all of them really did a great job, and not only to play in their first Division I game, but to play against a top 4 and a top 20 team, and really to go out with a lot of confidence and execute. It was great to see, and it just goes to show the depth that we have, and I think that's going to carry us a long way as the season continues.
Looking ahead now, you have Monmouth coming up tomorrow in New Jersey. What is your main focus to be able to transition quickly from those 2 games up in Connecticut to take on Monmouth tomorrow?
Well, that's what it is. It's 2 different types of transitions, and Monmouth's going to be a little bit different team than Connecticut and Stanford, but they are very solid. They're very strong, and they've just played against Syracuse, the 4-0 game, and Syracuse is a top 5 team. So I think just having that 1 game under the belt is we can't take anyone lightly, and when we don't, and we have to continue to develop whoever we're playing. It doesn't matter really what it says on their shirts. So I think we're prepared fully for the game tomorrow, and really looking forward to getting a win and get us back on the winning side.
And of course, you head up to Colgate this weekend. You're going to take on Colgate, and then Vermont up at Colgate on Friday and Saturday. Another 3 games in 4 days stretch. Do you feel any worries of fatigue on your team or anything like that?
Well, we're definitely going to have fatigue, and also with the travel. But like I said, I think the depth we have on our bench is really crucial right now, especially early in preseason. And fortunately, we've been lucky. We don't have any injuries right now, and just getting through some preseason injuries. But having the depth is really going to allow us to help those in fatigue, and until we can get our game up and really be at top level and up tempo speed that we want to be. So I think the depth is going to help us out this weekend.
And what have you and the coaching staff focused on those 2 specific games up at Colgate?
Well, I think every day we can't look past Monmouth, and we've got to learn from that, just like we learned from Connecticut and from Stanford. And right now we're trying to work on our structure, and trying to get the right structure, and getting the team to understand those principles. And that takes some time, and how we're going to play this year is really going to be developed by these preseason games. And it's still early for us, but like I said, our main goal is to understand our structure and our formation and how we're going to play. And it's just going to be minutes that are going to tell us where we're going to go.
And Coach, before we let you go, put you on the spot a little bit. What is the key going to be to come away with 3 victories this week and come back to Hofstra 3-2 to start this WB Mason report next week?
Sure. Well, I think we have to continue on our outletting pressing. We have to limit our defensive corners, and we got to put the ball behind the net, and that is the way to win, and that's definitely our goal. So.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. Good luck next week.
Great. Thanks, Kevin.
And thank you for tuning in to the WB Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com.